Hey guys, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. Tonight we're talking plumbing. And I'll tell you what, it is a Monday and it's really been a good day already. So I just want to jump in here and start talking plumbing because of some great messages and some great things that happened this weekend. I actually had a plumber come in, and he's a plumber in Utah. He's got a great deal. He's got 8,000 hours in already, because in Utah, you've got to have 6 years, according to him, to get a plumbing license. Now, it was great because contacted the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners to find out, look, what do we have to do to get this guy a license? And it's really cool because since he's got that many hours, since he's already got 8,000 hours, if we can get proof that he's got his hours in, we can go ahead and get him a plumbing license. And I really like that. And I love the fact that the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners works with us like that. I contacted Lisa Hill, talked to her. So it was really, really good. And it's nice to know that you can talk to people in the right spots and get help, get the answers you need. So we've already got some people jumping in here. Brendan Lavoie, man, I think I said that right. Plumbing, love it. Miss Michelle, Ethan Grantham, and Paul Peck, Drywall Tube, is in the house. Brother, let me tell you what. Paul, tell them how many subscribers you got, because you hit another magic number. And I saw today that you did a live yesterday, and I didn't get notified about it. Man, that really upset me, especially after seeing you yesterday morning, seeing you Saturday morning in the Nick and D shows. Man, Paul Peck, guys, and I talk to y'all all the time about Paul's a great moderator. Paul is growing. I mean, he makes my little number look really little. Paul, we still need to talk about me and you, and I got her name in my phone, but you know who I'm talking about, the DIY repairs. Paul just hit 80K, am I correct? Look at that, 80,000 subs. Man, I am so proud of you, because you know what we do, and Paul's like me, guys. Paul makes better videos than I do. Paul shares amazing information, and he does it because he wants to teach people. It's not just, hey, I'm going to make the video that I want to make. It's, let me make a video that is going to bring somebody knowledge. It's going to show them what product I use. It's going to help them learn what I do and how I do it. And man, he's got some great stuff. If you've ever, knocked a hole in the wall, anything like that, or thought about remodeling a house, maybe taking popcorn off your ceiling, man, there's a million different things. So now, if y'all would, everybody, put a congratulations down there in the comments. Let Paul see it. Let him know that you're there. And Paul, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for being a moderator for me. And man, I appreciate everything you do, I promise. So that's so cool. All right, now, man, I may have to get glasses here or something. Let me see what I can do here. If I can do this, maybe not. I'm starting to get a headache already. Okay, so y'all get to see me in my glasses tonight, so I can actually see. Brandon Lavoie, good to see you in here. Missy, I said hello to you. Sorry, got off on Paul. Man, I'm so proud of Paul, what he does. And here's the neat thing. I got to meet Paul in Los Angeles, and Paul is as good in person. He's a great person. And when you meet people like that, and here's the neat thing. Let me tell you about Paul and why we build these relationships on social media. When I met Paul is literally like, hey, I've got somebody that's going to be here I want to introduce you to, because she can help you, and I think you can help her. And man, it's all about building great relationships. And to be honest, if we're not doing that, man, we're not going to get anywhere. So that's why we get in here. That's why we do what we do. But he makes great videos, and man, love what you're doing, brother. So Ian Growcut, here we go. You're not of age to become a plumber, but plumbing is a great interest of yours. So what are some things that you should learn now in plumbing that will help me later in life? Well, number one, if you want to be a plumber, it's not just what you learn now to be a plumber. It's what you learn about plumbing itself. Now, this is a great trade to be in. And I say that because, there's always going to be a need for plumbers. As long as people are using the restroom, there's going to be a need for plumbers. So my whole thought behind it is start learning that. I've got videos in here about learning the UPC study guide. I actually made a video today. God, I didn't even put a number on it. The things that you need to learn before becoming a plumber, before getting into a plumbing apprenticeship. So there's a lot of different things, but man, you're doing the right thing already. Ian, you are actually getting in here, getting in the right spot, and talking to plumbers, learning from plumbers, and hopefully getting some good information. Jason James, how are you? Great, man. I love it. It's funny. We had this conversation today. We've actually upgraded. Those of you, the camera that I'm looking at right now is my Canon M50, and we love it. But we upgraded. We bought a new Sony, and man, I got to tell you, Will came in and says, "Hey, I love this Sony so much. I think the Canon's got a bad picture now." So we're constantly trying to get better, and you can ask Paul Peck. We talk about this all the time. How do we get better? What do we do to get 1% better in every video? What do we do to give people a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more information? And I got to tell you, I'm working on some great things. I can't spill all the beans right now, but what I will tell you, y'all hear me all the time say, look, this sponsorship wall is empty. What I'll tell you is it's not going to be empty for very much longer. It's looking like things are fixing to happen. I'm fixing to start bringing other people in on certain days of the week to introduce y'all to different services and products and things that are out there that'll help all of us. And man, that's really a big deal to me. So that's what I was in there working on a while ago, trying to get ready right before the live, and Will jumps in here and says, "Hey, you got to hurry up. We got things to do." So that's what I've been working on. Jason, good to see you in here. A Plumber's Life just got off work and got to the notification, started watching. Good deal. I appreciate having you in here. Hello, Julie Wakefield. How are you? That is my boss, in case y'all didn't know. I'm just a plumber. I'm just the husband. That's the boss. She tells us what we can do and what we can't. I asked her a while ago. She said, "Hey, look, we just had a check come in. I want to do this." I said, "Can I spend it?" And she said, "Yeah, if you want to be single." I was like, "No, thank you." Anyway, guys, that's the boss lady. Mina, hi. You put in an application to your union in Toronto, just waiting for the aptitude test in the mail. Man, I love that. And here's the deal, Mina. I've never seen the aptitude test. So did they give you a test when you were there, or are they emailing you to where you can take it online? And I'm just curious because I've never seen it, and I'd be interested in that. I have actually reached out to the Prime Minister of Canada. I know that they're really trying to recruit into the trades. So I've reached out to say, hey, look, if there's anything at all that I can do, I know I'm down here in the United States, but man, I'd love to help. I get a lot of people from Canada that jump in either in the live or in the questions or comments or anything like that. And man, I just want to help. It really doesn't matter to me if y'all are in Canada or down here. Man, we're all neighbors. So I really do enjoy it. Jason, man, Paul is amazing. Miss Michelle, thank you for saying that to Paul. I tell you what, Paul is really, man, he's one of these people that when I got in here and met and learned about, it's like, man, this has just been really, really cool. But getting to know him in person and going on from there has been fantastic. So, Paul, thank you, brother, for everything you do. Julian Peterson. Oh, Vlada, I missed you. How are you? Good to see you in here. Mia, Paul is amazing. Yes, indeed. Julian Peterson, been studying. Hopefully you get into the Apprentice Local 130 out of Illinois. Your aptitude test is on March 5th. So, Julian, I asked you, kind of like I did, I think it was Mina a while ago, is your test in person? Is your test online? Do you go take the test and then they email it to you, your results, or how do they do that? And I'm just curious because I get to go talk to the apprentice orientation here, and I go in and talk to them about what kind of plumbing company I am and if that's something that they would be interested in. So it's really interesting because, man, I don't get in on the aptitude. I don't get in on the interviews or anything like that, but I'm lucky enough that when I go in and get to talk to them, I get to try to find out what kind of interest they have as a plumber. And those of y'all that are in here understand, I ask, do you want to do residential? Do you want to do commercial? Do you want to do service? Do you want to do new construction? What do you want to do? Now, I don't ask them there if they want to be union or non-union because I'm hoping they've kind of already figured it out. So I like that. Theo Gutierrez, salud, hola, welcome, bienvenidos. Paul Peck gave you a huge shout out in your live stream yesterday. Man, I am so glad you did, Paul. I tell you what, and I've got to learn to pull things up like you are. Will, if you're watching, that's something we need to work on is how do I bring in other people's pages and channels and stuff like that. But Paul, I'll tell you what, do me a favor, drop a link in here to your YouTube channel. Guys, I'm telling you, if you have not subscribed to Paul, you need to. And Paul, I'm probably bad because I don't know that I've ever told y'all to do that. But man, put a link in there to your channel. You do great things, and man, I do. I love telling people about you, and I tell people about you all the time too. So thank you, Julian Peterson. I appreciate that. Okay, Theo Gutierrez. Let me tell you what. Ecale no comprende. But brother, mi hablo muy poquito español, but I'm trying. Julie, yeah, Paul rocks. William Rosebrock, there you go. See, man, everybody here loves Paul. Lil Cream Dab, how are you? Alfredo Diaz, finally made it to live video. I love that. Plumbing follower in San Diego. Man, I'm going to be in San Diego in about 3 weeks. God, I don't even know where I'm staying yet. I gotta reach out to him and find out. I'm actually headed down there for Social Media Marketing World. Paul, are you going to that one? I think Nick and DR, man, there's a lot of YouTubers. There's a lot of video creators that go to this thing. And it's not just video. It's all forms of social media. But, you know, those of y'all that watch this, you see videos where it's getting to be at. And that's the kind of things that we're trying to check people out with, see what they do and how well they do it. So, Fredo, glad you were in here. Man, hopefully I will see you soon or get to meet you or say hi. Man, I'll tell you what, if you want to give me a list of like the 2 or 3 best restaurants, I normally go hang out at the Gas Lamp District. Love it. Man, there's some good places down there. Brandon, you had a customer that was a doctor tell that you charge more per hour than he does. You know what? I've had them try and tell me that too. I always hand them an application and say, well, here, you can apply to be an apprentice. I don't know if you like it or not, but they might. You never know. Miss Michelle, you like the Sony? It looks great. Thank you so much. I tell you what, Will be happy because, I mean, literally he wants another one like now. I guarantee you, every time I go to this camera over here, he's like, I don't like that anymore. Here's what it is. Do you see the background right here? See how clear everything still is? Now when you come over here, see how it starts getting blurry? Now watch this. This autofocus here, do you see how clear my hand looks? Now see how blurry I am right there behind it? Now watch it when it's gone. Man, it's a new toy. Don't hate me for playing. I'm just having fun. So anyway, yeah, we like the Sony too. And if you, we'll can give you a link down there. It's It's a Sony A6400, I think. I think we've got a link to it. We tell people all the time what stuff we use. It helps them out. B. Kingsley, for anyone interested, comedian Theo Vaughn just did a podcast with a plumber. Really great interview. Recommend checking it out. You know, that would be fun. And it's funny that he did a podcast because, man, let me tell you what all goes on in the life of a plumber. And this was Friday. I got a message Thursday from CNN asking, look, Roger, I did an article last year about content creators, mainly LinkedIn, which those of y'all that know and follow me know I'm on LinkedIn too. Do a lot of stuff over there. Actually do 2 lives a week on LinkedIn. But got a message from CNN and said, look, we'd like to interview you. Would you be interested? And I said, sure. So talked to her for about 45 minutes to an hour last Friday. Had a great call today, and I'll share it all later. But got a great call today about being on a podcast. And actually got the call the other day, got the message the other day. When I was at KBiz, literally got to go hear, and I want to make sure I pronounce his last name right, Eric Granson. And I've seen Eric before. And I actually made it a point to get over to his session that he was doing at KBiz. And I say KBiz, the iBiz, the KBiz, the iBiz, Kitchen and Bath Industry Show or International Building Show. But I tell you what, I got over there early to hear Eric speak. And man, this guy's good. And he's got a podcast. He's got a radio show. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got all kinds of cool stuff going on. But after seeing him, I shared a link and said, hey, check out my channel. We've been conversing back and forth on LinkedIn. And anyway, I was on his podcast today. So a CNN interview today, podcast today with Eric. And I'm telling you what, life is fun. So it's great. Paul Peck, make sure you, and I hadn't got down that far, but please, if you hadn't, leave a link in there, brother. Wireless Sheffer. Oh, Wesley Sheffer. Man, even the glasses on don't help. You've recently been interested in plumbing and love my channel. Still in high school, learning as much as you can before you get out. And Wesley, here's the deal. It's a perfect time. And I've got other videos where I talk about the books that I recommend. And I mentioned this earlier in a video that I did. And it's such a big deal because when I was younger, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have even a lot of these study guides that we have now. It was all, if you wanted to learn plumbing, you needed to get on your bicycle or car, go down to the library, check out a book or read a book while you're there. And man, it was a lot of work. I mean, man, y'all got all the answers in the world right here. So here's the thing is, use what you've got to your advantage. You have an opportunity to get in here and learn and study and find out how to do things. Paul Peck teaches you basically how to do sheetrock, how to do drywall, how to texture it, how to tape it, how to bed it, everything. So he teaches you that. I teach you a lot about plumbing. There are people on social media that will teach you how to do almost everything. So take advantage of it and learn it and use it to your benefit. With what we're learning here, and look, Paul and I learn from a lot of the same people how to do YouTube, how to do LinkedIn, how to do Pinterest, how to do video. All the things we're doing, we work on because we want to get better. And it really is a big deal. But you asked, how do you get better at plumbing the same way we are? Watch these videos. I've got videos that tell you how to study that book. Once you study that book, you're going to understand code. You're going to understand, and not computer code, but you're going to understand what size of drain you need for a shower. What size drain can it be for a bathtub? How long can the drain arm be for a kitchen sink if it's a certain size? So there's a lot of different things. And as you learn this and you start to get it down where you've got it. Now, I mean, you literally understand what's going on. It clicks. And the sooner it clicks for you, the sooner you can start working on your own, the sooner you can start learning more and doing more. And man, it's a magic moment then because it clicks and it's great. Oh, let me see. Larry, where did you go? It just jumped on me. Larry Bostic's up in Boston, and you go take the exam at the Plumbers Local 12. You take it online. Man, that's fantastic. Have you been there? Because, man, I've met a lot of the plumbers from Local 12. Let me tell you a neat story. Y'all got time for a story? I went to Boston 2 years ago to speak at the first annual Plumbers Council meeting for the United Association. And the neat thing about it was, I mean, I was the only business owner there. I was getting to speak to them because I had gone out and opened my own service plumbing company right here in Dallas. And, those of y'all that know me know, look, I think for an employee, man, the union is the greatest thing on earth. I think for an employer, man, it's a private conversation we can have off the camera. Most of y'all have already heard what I think about it anyway. But here's the deal. As an employee, it's phenomenal. So I got the opportunity to go speak. General President Mark McManus was there. The Director of Plumbing, yes, Tom Bigley was there. It was a great thing. But I got to meet Local 12. I got to meet locals from across the United States. There were about 50 business agents and business managers in, y'all ready for this? The plumbing museum. Okay. There is a plumbing museum just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. And I got to go there. And it was so cool. I mean, guys, this would have been a bucket list had I known that it existed. But since I didn't, they're like, hey, you're invited to speak at this thing. Oh, by the way, it's going to be at the plumbing museum. Man, that was just cool. So anyway, one thing, and I'll tell you, this is my story about Local 12 and what I really love about them. I reached out to Bigley or, it may have been somebody else. It may have been Kurt Hukenstein, I believe. Man, here's the deal. I wanted to go to a baseball game because I found out the Texas Rangers were playing in Fenway. And I was like, okay, this is like a bucket list item. So I reached out and said, hey, if it's possible, I'd love to get tickets. They said, which night do you want to go? So the night we spoke, I spoke that day. We finished at 4:00, headed back to the hotel. Me and my wife got in an Uber, went down, took us down to Fenway. Guys, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Local 12, man, love what y'all do. Great attitude. And I'll tell you what, it's so funny because, we wear our Texas Ranger shirts and so many people are like, oh my God, y'all are doing good this year. Y'all are doing great. And everybody kept telling us, guys, look, when y'all go down there, don't wear your Ranger gear. They're not going to like you. They're going to boo you. They're going to throw stuff at you. So me and Julie are like, okay, wait, why are y'all being nice to us? We're like, man, y'all are having a great year. And so, well, people told us not to wear our stuff. I said, oh no, so man, represent your team, support them, all this. So as long as it's not the Yankees, because if y'all wear that in here, somebody's going to get hurt. And they do. They get really serious about it. But it's funny because Julie kept saying, man, I wonder why they're so nice to us. It's like, we're the Texas Rangers. They completely understand. Y'all hear my puppy dog? They completely understand we're not going to win long. We may win for a little while. We may stay ahead for a little while, but it ain't going to last a long time. Sorry about that. Rangers, it is what it is. So anyway, here we go. Larry, man, good luck, brother. Like I said, I have nothing but love and respect for Local 12. Jason Smith, how are you? Good to talk to you too, sir. Man, look, guys, I do try to share my time. Now, Jason and I have been talking. I try to be available for everybody. And I know Paul's like that. Paul and I want to help people. And that's why we do what we do. People reach out all the time, and I get people reach out here locally and say, look, I know you'll never talk to me because I'm in your area. You know what? There's like 5 million people in my area. I'm not going to get to every one of them. I will help anybody who wants help. And man, sometimes it's a phone call. Sometimes it's just a text message. Sometimes it's hey, here's what I think. Sometimes it's, hey, you know what? That's $49.95. Here's what I can do, and here's what I'm putting together. But guys, we want to help. So anybody in here, and Jason, thank you so much for that. You're welcome. I love helping people, and I love talking to people, especially about plumbing, if y'all can't tell. Vlada 1, you see you speak a bit of Spanish. Let me write your name in Serbian. Oh, no, that's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so Vlada, I speak a little Spanish. My name in Spanish is Rogelio. And I learned that because I took Spanish in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. 10th grade, probably the last time. 1, 2, 3, yes. So anyway, man, Serbian, though, that's a little different. I like that. That's actually pretty cool. I will come back in here and clip that so I can look at it. And I hope you didn't call me anything bad, but I appreciate it. Cool. Yeah, Paul, I'll tell you what, man, William is all over it. And it's funny because, and Paul will know him, but, Nick and Dean Nemeth have taught me a lot. Jeremy Vest, my coach, oh my gosh, what a godsend. But I've learned so much from social media or through social media, about video, about YouTube, about what to do, how to do it from a small handful of people. And, that would be Jeremy Vest, number one. Daryl Eves in his course and speaking at Social Media Marketing World, having the blessing of walking into that class. But Jeremy, Daryl, Nick and Dean Emmons, Sean Cannell. Man, there's a few more that have done a lot for me, but those 5 right there have been amazing for me. And man, the things that we get to learn and the things we get to do to help other people and learn to do it the right way, it's phenomenal. And that's why when I go back to me being a teacher, I love teaching people plumbing. I love helping them, because if I can teach you something that helps you grow and helps you do better for your family, man, why wouldn't I? I think it's a great thing to do, and I really think it helps a lot. Boots is my video guy a plumber too? Boots A, the answer is no. Matter of fact, he would get mad at you for even insinuating that he's a plumber. Will's my stepson. Will actually started working for me one summer. And I think it was right after high school or right after his freshman year of college. And what he learned real quick is that he did not want to be a plumber. He did not want to be around me very much longer. He was pretty much done. But it's good because he at least understands what we do now. And will go out. If I say, Will, hey, we got to go out tomorrow and get in a tunnel under a house and go in here and shoot some video, he's like, okay, let's go. So I am very blessed to have Will doing what he does. And he's doing it very well. Jason Smith. Yes, hello to Paul. I love that. I know, CNN, man, that blew my mind. I'm like, absolutely. And I went back and looked at the article she did last year, and it's like, okay, this is cool. So here lately, and just Paul, so you know, here lately, I mean, gosh, I've been on, I think I was in Forbes, I've been in Yahoo, I've been in Medium.com, I've been on NBC, CBS, ABC, NBC. And another cool thing, I've got a company out of New York. How many of y'all know what Fatbergs are? If you know what a Fatberg is, do me a favor and just drop it in the comment real quick. And you don't have to tell anybody if you don't want to. Just write a yes or say, yes, here's what it is. And just because I'm curious as to who all does know. Because to be honest, when they first reached out, I'm like, man, I know that word. What is it? And I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what it is. So the neat thing about it is I got a phone call from New York, or actually it started as an email, but I got a phone call or an email from New York saying, hey, look, we're doing a documentary video about Fatbergs. And they had a problem with them in London, had a problem with them in Michigan, starting to have problems with them in big cities like New York, Houston, LA, and reached out to me and said, hey, if we did a video about that, is that something you'd be interested in helping with? I'm like, absolutely. So I'll scroll down in a minute and I'll get to it. But, man, the opportunities that we have coming by are amazing. Mr. Cunningham, you just bounced, went right past you there. Yes, good evening to everybody. Ezekiel Lopez, how are you? Will you be too tired, too busy to hang out with your kids if you become a plumber? No way. Don't get me wrong, it can be grueling on you at times. But you know what, man, I went over last night. We've got a new granddaughter. You can ask Will and Julie both about it. We've got a new granddaughter, Miss Collins. And I went over last night. I mean, helped them cook, held the baby. I mean, look, life's good. If you want to spend time with your kids and play with them, you won't be too tired. You can do it. Okay, Rye Whiskey. Leave it to a service plumber to have one of the best quality live streams. And I love your attitude. I love it. We, you know what's, and it's really funny because, and you can ask Paul, because we were talking about live stream back in September, October, and still hadn't really done it. We did it a little bit, and I say that we may have just got started on them. But you know, the thing is, when I first started doing live stream, I was doing them with iPads. I was doing them with iPhones. I was doing them with you know, whatever we could get that would help us do it. And I mean, guys, go back to my very first videos. I'm literally sitting over in my office at a desk with a little bitty computer camera. And don't get me wrong, it was a good one. It was a little Logitech 922. Then I updated to the Logitech Brio. And guys, I've got some great equipment that I've started with, and I still use. We actually used the Logitech in here right before we got the Sony. I think that's why Will wanted the Sony. We actually used the Logitech right over here, and then we used the Canon right over here. And Will got in here and man, Will's learning really well. He got in here and adjusted things and tweaked things, and it actually looked pretty daggum good. But we knew that we wanted a second camera. Everybody gets tired of sitting here looking at the exact same thing all the time, every time. Every now and then to jump over to a different camera's kind of cool. Now we're looking at how can we get 3 or 4 cameras in here? Let's do something neat. And that's what we come in here and work on is look, what can we do to get better? And that's what this whole thing is about. So, man, I think it's great, Rye Whiskey, that, man, we try to do a great live stream. And, you can say, well, you're a service plumber, so you're fixing it, or you're a construction plumber, so you're building it. But either way, we're trying to do what other people aren't doing. And I watch some of the other plumbing channels and look, nothing against them, man. There are some great guys out there. But I look at some of them and I'm like, man, I really could help you a lot from what I know. And the thing is, look, and I don't mean that bad. It's not like, hey, look, I'm better than you. It's, man, you have an opportunity here because you're a bigger channel than me, or you've got more subs, you're getting more views, you're making more money, whatever the case may be. But my thing is, man, I want to help everybody. And it doesn't matter to me whether it's social media, plumbing, or what. Man, I see an opportunity here, and I just want to help. So let's get back to where we are. Pop Vultures. Hello, everyone. Happy to join. New apprentice and super excited. So, guys, if you hadn't done it yet, tell me where you're from. Where are you at? Where are you from? Are you an apprentice? Are you a plumber? Are you a drywall technician? Are you a drywall tuber? I mean, what is it that you do that just makes your day? Because I love what I do. I got comments earlier today about the Texas State Board. Those of y'all that know me know we've been fighting with them for a while, so it's kind of interesting. But the neat thing about it is, they finally scheduled another board meeting, which is kind of cool. I don't know why they finally decided to schedule it in March. They had one scheduled for April. They had one scheduled for January. Didn't do it. So it's just kind of interesting to see what and why. The neat thing is, instead of scheduling it at the Texas State Board this time, they scheduled it at the Reagan building, which I love because, number one, the original Texas State Plumbing Board helped build that in order to build the board. So there's a lot of history there for me, at least, because I know about it. But, my thing is that the whole thing is, Will's coming in to throw something at me. The whole thing is to me, I love the fact that we're doing what we should be doing. We're having a board meeting. We're getting together. I wish that Governor Abbott would go ahead and fill the board seats because it's something that we need to do. And, man, if you'd ever told me a few years ago I'd be on here talking politics, I'd have told you you're nuts. But here we are. So Will's got you his camera set up there for the A6400 or the Sony A6400. Love that thing. And that Sigma lens, guys, the Sony body's great. But that Sigma lens, that is a difference maker. And yes, those are affiliate links, I hope. Meaning if y'all click on them and you go to Amazon, you buy one, we get a few pennies for telling you what it is we use. That's the way they've got this whole thing set up, which really that's pretty cool because as y'all see, my sponsorship wall is still empty, but hopefully we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. So we're looking forward to it. Pop, great videos. Thank you very much, Mr. Cunningham. There's another Texas plumber who just started his YouTube channel, but you won't plug him. You know what? Man, I don't care. Stick it in here, Mr. Cunningham. Guys, it really don't bother me. I mean, one thing that I don't do, I don't go in other plumbers' videos and say, hey, check out my channel or anything like that. Something like this, I don't care. There's a lot of good plumbers in Texas. Now there's a lot of them that are mainly on Facebook, and I've reached out to a lot of them, talked to a lot of them. Actually, I'm working on a few things, trying to get them involved. So I love what we do. I love the opportunity that we have. And to be honest, I think the more we can all work together and help each other, and I'm all over it. I think it's great. All right. So Lot of one, you kind of decided that you actually left plumbing kind of late, 28 years old, finished university, started working an office job, and it just clicked in your head. Man, that is cool. Absolutely. And Paul's right. That's how it happens. You just wake up one day. The neat thing with me was I literally, and I've said this in the podcast earlier, I mentioned it a while ago, I was literally driving to work one day, going to apartments that we were building. And I had been in the trade for about a year, maybe just a little over a year. Now, remember, I got in when I was in high school because I'd quit school. I got out, went back to high school, graduated with my class, then right after graduation, got right back in plumbing. And man, I thoroughly enjoyed it and loved it. But I mean, I remember one day driving to these apartments, condos that we were building, and on the way to work, I mean, it was like something just popped in my head. And I was like, I know why we do it. It made sense. I know why this goes this. I mean, just all of a sudden it was crazy. It was like all these crazy answers and ideas and thoughts and decisions and everything was floating through my head. And then all of a sudden at one moment, it was like, bam, I got it. I know why. I know why we do it. It makes sense. And it all made sense. And literally whenever I pulled up to the job site that day, my superintendent, Austin, when I walked up to the trailer, he said, hey, get a saw, start cutting some conduit for stakes for the rough end. And I looked at him and I said, hey, can I go over here and start the top out on that building, a wall rough end? He said, do you think you can do it? And I said, yeah. He said, go. And man, thank God he did, because it gave me the opportunity to get out and see, did I make mistakes? Absolutely. But you know what? He gave me permission to make mistakes. And guys, sometimes that's what it takes. But it was really, really cool. So, top 10 films. Okay. God, Pop Vultures. I hope I'm saying your name right. Pop Vultures. Roger, do you prefer any toolbars over others? And what do you mean toolbars? Not sure what you mean by toolbars. So answer that one and I will get back to you, I promise. Vlada 1, Paul Peck drywall tube. Tricky part here is that you don't have schooling system. Have to find a plumber willing to take me in. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Tools over others. Okay, Pop, I'll get back with you in just a second. Here's the thing, Vlada, is I learned open shop, which means there was no school. And when I got into the union, I love the fact that they do have a training program, and it's a good training program. They send their instructors to get taught how to teach. And I think that's a big idea. Some people don't understand that there's different ways to teach. We've all got different ways that we learn. Some want to see it. Some want to hear it. Some want to touch it and feel it. And it's a big deal to be able to incorporate all those different ways into your teaching style to help people learn the way they want to learn. And some plumbers don't know that. The very first plumber that I ever worked for works for me now, and he didn't want us to touch it. He did not want me to stand next to him to look at the blueprints. He's like, look, I'm looking at this. So I'd go around to the other side of the pile of sheetrock, and man, I learned to read blueprints upside down. But it made sense. So then when I finally did get it over the right way, it still made sense. But lucky for me, I always wanted to learn. So what I did is when they'd get ready to throw away blueprints and bring another set out, I'd tear the cover off so I'd have the legend. That way I could study the legend. What does this symbol mean? What does this symbol mean? And guys, look, I didn't have the internet. I didn't have a cell phone in my pocket that had all the freaking information in the world on it. I literally had to learn how to read blueprints by looking at a blueprint and trying to figure out what it meant. And then I learned to figure out what the scale meant. And then I learned to figure out, what the dotted lines mean and what this mean. And it's all on a couple of big sheets of paper, but I'd look at it and I'd learn it. And then I'd go to the job the next day and look at the blueprints. Or if they threw away a set of blueprints, I say, look, can I carry this home? Because I would want to go home and look at it because I knew where we were working, what we were doing, but I knew I wanted to learn. And that was a big, big deal for me. So, okay, so tools over other tools. So Pop Vultures, here's what I'll tell you. I like quality tools. And, people ask me all the time, for people starting out, for apprentices, should an apprentice buy a cheap tool that he can afford new, or go to the pawn shop and buy a name brand that's used? And I tell them all the time, I'd go buy used tools. Guys, they're not going to stay new forever. they're going to become used tools. Why not let somebody else wear the new off them, just like a new car? Now, there's things to look for. When you go, say, buy a pipe wrench, look at the jaws, look at the teeth. Are they good? Is it going to last a while? Is it going to bite on the pipe when you go to use it? Is it going to work like it's supposed to? Because if it works like it's supposed to, it doesn't matter to me whether it's new or used. Now, if it's rusty, I like that even better because I'm going to be able to get it at a better price, and I'm going to go home, clean that thing up, and I can make it look brand new. And to me, that's a big deal. Sorry about that. Needed a sip of water. Jason Smith, yes. Oh, I like this. Thimerad 23 from London. How are you? So, you know what, Thimerad, you can probably answer this. What are Fatbergs? And just curious if you know. Hadn't seen anybody put down in there and answer it yet, but I'm still scrolling, so we'll figure it out. Jason, thank you very much. Man, I'm excited about my granddaughter. I tell you what, she's a doll. You want to see somebody excited, get Julie. Man, she's really excited. Rye Whiskey, you're out of local 178. We're a small business wanting to get some tips on getting new commercial accounts. I've had great luck with word of mouth on residential, looking for advice. Man, number one, and this is funny because people ask me this all the time. When I start my business, I want to hurry up and grow and get in commercial. And I'm like, man, why? And here's why. Or here's why I asked that. The local 100, when I was an instructor there, I got sent to Ann Arbor, Michigan, actually Ypsilanti, Michigan, to go up there and go through the instructor training program. And here's what I'll tell you is one of my favorite courses was the foreman certification course, the value of $1. And you go through this whole course. And it gets down to, and this was a big deal because most union contractors are commercial and most of them are new construction. So we go through this course, and one of the things they teach you is the profit margins on commercial and the profit margins on residential, like commercial, new construction, and residential service. And guys, there's a big difference. And 2 years later, when I was director of operations for a mechanical contractor here, the owner of the company, she wanted to go. She wanted to come down and learn about the training program. How do they teach? What do they teach? I told her that's a course you need to take. And I still remember the day that she came out to the Suburban. We were getting ready to leave. And she came out and she looked at me. She said, why are we doing commercial construction? And I just started laughing. I said, they did value of $1 today, didn't they? And she said, yes. And I said, so what'd you think? She said, exactly what I asked you. Why are we still doing new construction? And there's a lot of reasons to, my brother always tells me, look, Roger, get big enough that you can start doing big commercial work. I don't want to do big commercial work. I don't want to get into that game where I've got everything I've got tied up in a job. Here's the deal. Profit margins in commercial, probably 5 to 8%, 5 to 10 if you're really, really lucky. I've pushed some jobs up to about 20%, which is hard to do. But I'm a pusher. When I'm running big jobs, I'm looking ahead. I'm ordering in advance. I don't want guys. There's no downtime, and there's no need for it. When they teach this course, though, they tell you 5 to 10%. But then they turn around and teach you that residential service, your profit margin should be between 15 and 20. So she walks out that day and she is literally like, why are we doing this? So, guys, here's the deal. I don't always try to get into commercial. I know that people want new commercial accounts. And Rye Whiskey, if you're talking service, I get it. I would literally advertise and market, hey, look, when you can't get another plumber to come out to your business, call us. And I would push it that way, and I would push it hard that way. I think that will do a lot for you, just doing stuff like that on social media. But don't try to sell. Show them the benefit of you being available. Jason Smith, where'd we go? Man, this thing jumps on me. There we go. What is a good starting pay for a good experienced journeyman plumber? Here in the Dallas area, And again, Jason, I got to look at, are we talking commercial? Are we talking residential? Are we talking service? Are we talking new construction? Are we talking union or non-union? I know commercial open shop plumbers up here that make $28 an hour. I know commercial union plumbers that make about 33 an hour, because I think that's what scale is here. Pretty close. Service is a little bit different. When you start talking service, you've got to look at what kind of perks are there, what kind of benefits are there, what kind of incentives are there. I know service plumbers that make anywhere from $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year, and I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, man, it's a big jump, but that's what it is. If you get the right, and when I say a service plumber, he's got a sales team, or he's the salesman, and he's got an install team. He's got a lot of things going. So he works on commission. He goes out and sells the job, and then he turns around and gets people to install it. But there's a trust factor there. It's got to be people that install it the way he sold it, the way he talked about it, the way he delivered that job, and the way he's told them he can bring it in. And that's a big deal. And I've met with some companies. I've met with company owners across the United States that have told me, man, you come in here and let us train you, and you can make $800,000 a year. And, man, there's no doubt in my mind. But you've got to look at how much selling do you have to get out and do in order to push that. So those plumbers, getting back to you, Jason, man, kind of up to them. What do you want to do? If you're going to be in commercial work and you're going to be in the union, let's just say union. You don't have to be. You can do commercial work, open shop. But in the union, you're going to get so much an hour. You might even be on salary. Hey, you're going to get, $2,000 a week. And that's your deal. Now, once you start a big job, they may say, okay, we need you here 9 days a week. We need you here 32 hours a day. And that's just what it is. So, and it's not always good, but if you're just talking hourly, plumbers anywhere, man, I'd say 25 to 35 an hour across Texas. I've had jobs where I made over 50, and even in the union or right before the union, as low as 18 starting out. So, man, it's just kind of tough call, but you can make what you want to make, and that's the big deal. Okay, yeah, Jason's down in Houston. And Jason, the young lady that I told you about I would talk with, she did not come up here Saturday. I've got her number. I'll give her a call, but stick with me. I'll help you, I promise. Pop Vultures, originally from New York, now reside in Florida, given the apprentice opportunity for one of Florida's major theme parks. Man, that's great. So, Pop, and I think you said, is that through the union? It is, right? Because I've talked to the Miami local. I've talked to a few different locals down there. There's some really good union contractors, and there's some really good union contractors all across the United States. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some really bad union contractors. But there's really good open shop, and there's bad open shop too. Guys, I love it when I see people that they'll jump on a bandwagon and they'll bash the union. And it's like, okay, have you ever been in the union? They're like, no, but I've heard. Or union people that bash open shop. It's like, well, have you ever been open shop? And they're like, no, I've been in the union the whole time. Then you don't know anything about it. You know what? I'm one of these people, I can bash whatever side I want to because I've been on both. I've been open shop. I've been union. I've been residential. I've been commercial. I've been service. I've been new construction. I've done it all. So, man, when I talk trash, listen to me because I know what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. Rye whiskey. We'll be able to answer that better, but no matter what state, you're going to go talk to your local union. The union is going to be your best training and pay and benefits. And you know what? For the most part, you're right. But let's get down to this. You say, and benefits, not always. And I say that because, here in Dallas, and look, benefits are part of the package, so it really depends on where you're at across the United States. But here in Dallas, there's no holiday. There's no paid vacation. There's not anything like that. But I'm a service plumbing company, so I pay my guys that because I think that's a big deal. They need their time off. They need their time to reset and recover and regenerate. And that's a big deal to me. So I do that for my guys. But you know what? Our benefits, man, and I tell people when I bring them in or when I hire them, I don't care if it's just you or if it's you and you're married and your wife has 50 kids, they're all covered because I pay the insurance. And it's a good deal. And to me, that's part of the two best benefits of being an employee in the union is the health insurance and the pension plan. You're going to have a retirement plan as long as Madoff or somebody don't make it go away. But anyway, and chances are it's going to be a good deal. But that's about the only benefits there are. But then again, I've talked to open shop companies that, hey, we pay all vacations. We pay all holidays. You can get 4 weeks of your vacation. You can get 10 holidays. You can get 5 sick days. You can get maternity leave. You can get bereavement days for a close family member. There's a lot of different things and a lot of options. It's all what do you want? And if your company has a 401k, do you put money in it, or do you just wait and hope one day that maybe you'll hit the lottery with that money you should have been putting in your 401k? Julie Wakefield, you have work to do with the plumbers licensing in Texas. God, isn't that the truth? You've applied for the union, can't seem to pass that math test they give you. I tell you what, Jason, there's a math section in the UPC study guide. And if you hadn't seen it and looked at it and figured it out, man, that's a big one. I used to teach math in the union here, so I get it. There's, plumbing math, man, it's fun. I mean, I love it because I look at it like, okay, if I've got a hole this deep and it's this much in diameter, there's this many gallons of water in it, and the pump kicks on that ejects, 2 GPMs and it runs for 3 minutes and 20 seconds, how much water's left in the pit? And it's like, okay, wait, I can do that. But man, I love it. But my mind is very analytical, so I'm constantly thinking about it like that. But man, if you learn to find the right book and get in there and study it and learn it, man, it is pretty cool stuff. Mina, the Toronto aptitude test is online. You haven't seen it, but you found an older one from Australia. Basically test grade 12, academics, retention, and problem solving. Good deal. I like that. Dane Kamalu, your military spouse. If you move every 3 to 4 years, how should you go about your career? Here's what I'd do is the union would probably be good for you. And here's why. If you get into the apprentice training program in one local and they understand that you're moving because your spouse is getting relocated for the military, the unions understand that. They can help you move your book. And you come in, you get your book, or even as an apprentice, I've seen apprentices transfer. It's not always easy to do, and you got to make sure they got room for you. But, if your spouse has the opportunity to go from, New York, Florida, or Denver, you might call the hall and say, hey, I may get transferred. Where would it be best for me to go? And I don't know if they've got any choice or not, but sometimes it might be worth checking into. I mean, it could possibly help you out a lot. Jason, service plumber, I know I love it. And Jason, that's the thing is down there, I know that Local 68 does do a lot with service down there because I've talked to him about it. If you ever get to meet Rick Lord, a great guy. I've had a lot of conversations with him. Chado Woodard, man, there's some good people down there that I've really tried doing a lot more with, so I'd like to. Rob Connolly started a Plumber Forever channel on YouTube. Good deal. Rye Whiskey, your service company. You guess I should have specified that. It's great advice. And see, if you're going to do commercial service, that's good. I would advertise the heck out of it because I have, and I do it through social media. How many plumbers have you got that work for you? Because what I would do, I would be trying to have every plumber that I have, anytime you go out and do stuff like that, make a little video as to what you did, share it, tag the company, check in at the company, do different things, because I would want everybody to know what kind of work we're doing. And that would really be a big deal to me. David Harris, you're trying to become a plumber that no one will give you a chance or teach you. You've called around so much, and the union in your area is way too far. You don't know what to do. David, I tell people this all the time. Find out what kind of plumber do you want to be? And what I mean is, do you want to do residential, commercial, service, new construction? Start finding out who's doing all the work like that in your town. And man, politely go over there and apply. Politely come back a week later and say, hey, look, I applied last week, and I'm just checking to see if anything came open. Let them know you're interested. Don't be pushy. Don't be a pest. Don't be a pain. But let them know you're interested in it. And, man, if they've got anything, if they're the ones doing all that work, eventually they will have. And you've got an opportunity then, but that's what it's going to take to get in there. Rye whiskey, been in both. Absolutely. Hotel renovations in the Orlando, Tampa, and East on the Space Coast. Love it. East Coast. Even worked at NASA. Yeah, it's funny, Paul. I'm actually working with a lady right now about looking at all kinds of things. I'm thinking about doing a podcast. Tell me what y'all think about that. Anyway, talking to this lady about possible podcasts and stuff, and she used to do the marketing for NASA. Big deal. Pretty cool. Julie Wakefield, you don't trash either side. You're really objective when you're giving out advice. And, Julie, and that's a good way to look at it, because I see the benefits of both sides. I see the benefits of being union. I see the benefits of being non-union. And that's why, man, I like to be really objective about it and say, look, here's what it is. What's best for you? And that's, at the end of the day, guys, that's what it boils down to. What is going to suit you the best? And that's why one of my questions that I tell people all the time to ask whenever they're going in to apply for a job is, what am I going to learn here? What is working for you going to do for me? Because to me, man, that's got to be the most important question for you. You need to be worried about you first, and that's a big deal. Boost, Jason, check out the book, Practical Math Success in 20 Minutes a Day. Helped you a ton. I love it. All right, Globalist Truth. Oh, my God, I love you. Oh, my God, I love you. Thank you very much. Love you, too. It's good to have you here. James Cunningham, the UPC study guide has a section devoted to math, if that helps. Man, I told him that just a while ago, James. That study guide has helped me so much. And I talk to people about it all the time. And to be honest, I mean, UPC ought to give me a case of them to give away, because I do. I talk about it so much. That is a great study tool for me. Man, I don't know. It's a good book, though. It works. Dan Kamalu, you are welcome. Construction Coroni's in the house. Looky there. Good to see you in here. Julie Wakefield, share the link to the aptitude test here in the chat, please. Yeah, that's true. Mina, if you've got that link to the aptitude test in there, that would be cool. Share it where people can see it. I'd love to go look at it just to see what all's in it. When I'm teaching people about math, that'd be a great one to get to show. So, guys, another channel right there, the Construction Cronies. If you want to see good videos, great content, things like that, Construction Cronies, Paul Peck Drywall Tube. Man, there's some good people in here. I love it. Thank you for jumping in. Let me see. Jason Smith. Man, Jason, we got a good group here. You can get in here. You can ask questions. I'm not the only one that knows answers. There's a bunch of people, and man, we all see it a different way. So the cool thing about it is, man, you just jump in and ask the question. A lot of times they get answered before I even get around to it, which is really good. And I got some good people in here. I like that. All right. Pop Vultures, how do you feel on the Milwaukee Cheater Wrench? My wife gifted it to me for our anniversary. Man, I love it. I think it's really cool because when I saw it the first time and saw that, literally you take a piece of pipe, screw it in to give you a longer wrench, I thought, man, that is smart. Why didn't we come up with that a long time ago? Now, I haven't been given one yet. I keep waiting for Milwaukee to gift one to me, maybe put it up here by my big green wrench or hang it on the wall, or we can do all kinds of fun things with it. I'm working on so many things. We've got to, I started to tell you what it is. You know what? We got something here we're playing with a video camera and seeing what all we can do with it. I'm telling you guys, we're fixing to start having fun. So I like the wrench. I do. I like it. I think that is cool. Christopher Salas, how are you today? Construction cronies, man, I tell you what, it's good to see you in here. It really is. You know, there are so many people doing good things on YouTube, and man, y'all got it going on. Definitely so. Jason Smith had 2 of the Milwaukee cheater pipe wrenches until your work truck got broken into. Love them. You have 3 pipe wrenches in one. Absolutely. David Harris, want to do residential service? Good for you. You want something that keeps you busy? You were a commercial carpenter's apprentice for over a year in actual working time. You stay out of work for it being slow too often. So, David, where was this at? And I say that because, man, I tell you what, here lately, we're slowing down. Our phones have slowed down a little bit. I got to pump up my video outreach, things that we do for marketing. But I go back and look at, I have not been out networking near as much as I used to be. And these are things that, man, I do instead of sending money to Google. So when I slow down on it a little bit, I kind of notice it. So I've got to get back out in front of my peoples again. And you're right. That sucks, Jason. Like the little kid in front of the classroom with your hand always up. Jason, you're good, brother. You are good. Fun is good. Stream is aces. I love it. David is in North Carolina. And that's cool because, man, David, I got to tell you, I got a friend that's in North Carolina. And I call her a friend. I use that term very loosely. Miss Jessica Stansbury thinks North Carolina barbecue's better than Texas. And brother, I got to tell you, we have had some arguments, some discussions, just short of throwing down with each other. And it's really funny because I'm joking, but she was speaking at an event and I was in her session, and we had this conversation more than once. And I'm sitting in the back of the room, and she says, "Anybody got any questions?" And I raised my hand. She said, "Yeah, Roger." I said, "Well, how are we supposed to take you serious?" I said, "Here we are in Texas, and you think North Carolina's barbecue is better. We know you don't know what you're talking about." And I mean, everybody in her, even Jessica started laughing. So, man, there's great people in this industry. And I guess that's the thing. You know, the construction cronies, Paul Peck, Urban Explorer, Neil's normally in here. Will, Grayson, you know, Julie, the people that are doing things in here in social media, and it's not just YouTube. I do YouTube, I do LinkedIn, we do Instagram, we do Twitter, we do Facebook. There's a lot of different things that we do. But man, the neat thing is we all want to help each other. I want to help Paul. I want to help the construction cronies. I want to help people that want to help other people. And when you meet Paul and you talk to him, you meet Will and Grayson, and they're there to learn. And they're like, "Well, hey, have you thought about doing this?" And we all want to help each other. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. But now I'm going to get into kind of what I've been talking about. Okay. Pop has become an expert with the Pro Press. Man, I got a big old rigid Pro Press right down here under the table because we shot a video with it. And it's too big for me. I got to go put it back up. Let me ask y'all this. And because I've done research and I've talked to one of my YouTube coaches. We're thinking about doing giveaways. And I say that because I think that we've got great content. I think that our entire YouTube channel, we're really working to grow the channel, to grow our audience, to help get information out there. And we've got great things going on with sponsorship conversations, great things coming up with things that we want to do. Like I said, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. There's some different things going on, and we have really been having fun. But the thing that I ask is, what would y'all think if we started doing giveaways? And I mean, I know what y'all think. I mean, if you get something for free, it's worth it. I get it. But man, I've got some sponsors willing to give me some pretty cool toys. And Paul, this would be a good one for, you and construction cronies. If we're giving away something of serious value, and I go back to, I don't know if it was Daryl Eves, if it was Steve Lester, or somebody like that. We're going to definitely give something away of unquestionable value. And man, I've got some guys wanting to give me some stuff to give away that, I mean, it's nice stuff. I mean, I'm talking anywhere from Southern Mama Drama. Now, why would you just jump in and ask a question like that? I think that's funny. Is Young Coach my YouTube coach? Well, he might be one of them. I'll tell you what, if y'all have never read, if you're interested in YouTube at all, and you've never read Sean Connell's book, YouTube Secrets, man, that's where it starts. It's great because it'll get you off to the right course, the right direction. I'll tell you what, in Southern Mama Drama, it's really funny that you say that because literally earlier I mentioned Sean, I mentioned Jeremy, I mentioned Daryl Eves, I mentioned Nick and D. Those are like the 5 people that have probably had more to do with where I'm at on YouTube than anybody else. And not just YouTube, because I take a lot of what I learned here and I use it over on other platforms. We do almost the same thing on LinkedIn. It's a little bit different and it doesn't go this long. I jump in there on Tuesdays and Fridays. I do about a 20, 30-minute video. And man, I love what I do. On Tuesdays, I try to bring Julie or somebody in here with me. On Fridays, I normally get in and talk plumbing. And you'd be surprised how many people, even on LinkedIn, ask plumbing questions or want to know, how do I do what I do here? I'm just a plumber. And it's kind of funny because it really works well. So let me see here. Okay, so see, Isaiah caught it quick, man. I like that. Let me roll up here a little bit more. I missed some. There we go. Journeyman teaching you all about backflows. I like that. You've become an expert with the ProPress. Okay, so I missed that one a while ago. That's good. Construction Cronies says absolutely. That's awesome. Great job on 25,000 subscribers going strong. Man, we are. And guys, those of y'all that didn't see it, Paul Peck Drywall Tube is in here. He's hit 80,000 subs, and I mean rock star status. Cool guy too. Pop Vultures. You know what, man? I just had some more hats made. We're literally, I'm talking to the people that actually do my shirts and the caps that I've got now. And man, I'd like to get them involved to do my merch because I really like what they do, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get into the YouTube program. I don't know anything at all about that. And Paul or Construction Cronies or any of y'all, if y'all do, man, jump in and let me know. I would really love to have them do it because they're here local. I see the quality. I'd get to touch it and feel it and know how good it is. But man, I've got to start doing merch. I should have done it 15,000 subscribers ago. So yeah, something we got to work on. So Paul Peck, I love your channel too, brother. Isaiah, give away a jetter or a camera. I tell you what, here's what I'm looking at giving away. Here's what I'm thinking about giving away. But I've got to get where I've got more people in my lives. So what it's going to take is people are going to have to subscribe to the channel, which, I mean, a lot of people are. If you're not, if you hadn't done it yet, guys, hit down there, hit subscribe. I don't even get to see how many thumbs up anymore. The way we've got this set up, I can't even see that. I'll tell you what I'm going to try. And it may not let me do it. I'm going to try just to log in just to see my channel to see if I can see my own live. And it looks like I can't. Yeah, I can. Man, it is live too because it's showing me holding my phone. That's actually pretty cool. So what I'm doing is a camera. Giving away a sewer camera. Have y'all ever seen anybody give away a sewer camera? Because, I mean, man, those things range in price from, I'm going to say 3 or 4 grand up to 10 or 12 grand. And I've kind of given them a possibility of what range I'd like to be in, how I'd like to do it. And we're still talking. So a sewer camera is on the table. Looks like that could be a giveaway. But we're trying to set it up. How do we do it? You know, we know that people have to be subscribers. What my thought was, and tell me what y'all think about this. I literally am thinking the last Monday of the month, we give away a sewer camera, leak detection equipment. We give away something cool. and it's something of value. So it's not just, okay, I want a $5 cap or $10 cap. They cost me more than that. But my thought process is, what if we give away something like that on the first Monday of the month? But the way I do it, and Daryl Eves has done some great giveaways on his lives, and I mean, giving away thousands of dollars in product, just like I'm talking about. But my thought is, what if I gave away something like that, but I ask questions, and you have to come up with the answer, but I ask questions about what I did. Sorry, I have to turn this down. I hear the echo going on. What if I ask questions about what I did like on the last video? Like right now I could say, okay, in one of my lives a few weeks ago, I talked about what blue jeans and shirts I wear. What brand is it? And, the person can say, hey, this is what it is. This is what it is. Great. You win a $5,000 sewer camera. You win a $5,000 leak detection equipment. I mean, that's about the value of the prizes that I'm talking about. So my question to you, and maybe Construction Cronies, Paul, those of y'all that are in social media here a lot more than me, or in YouTube a lot more than me, what do you think? What do people do to win the prizes? And what do y'all think? I love what Nick and Dee do. And man, you see me, I'll take a picture of myself watching the video. I will share it out on different social media platforms. There's a lot of things that I do, but if I'm going to give away $5,000, I want to make sure that, I mean, man, somebody's earning it. It's not just, oh, gee, I showed up, dude, give me $5,000. Yeah, I think people ought to work for it just a little bit. So tell me down there what y'all think. Now I'll get back over here in the chat. And Isaiah, you never know. There may be a jetter involved in there too, because I do like that idea also. Yeah, James Cunningham, I don't turn around giveaways either. The Southern Mama Drama, I love that question. Is Sean Cannell your YouTube coach? Absolutely one of them. Troy Kitchen, how much impact on your business showcasing a community service project? Example would be donating labor to a person in need but can't afford the entire project. Troy, and man, we have done that. I don't video it. I don't share it. I don't do anything like that. But we get calls every now and then from cities. We get calls from the union. We get calls from inspectors. We get calls from family members saying, hey, look, I know this sounds crazy, but, and we've done that. I don't do it for the impact because I don't showcase it. We just go do it. And, I normally don't even talk about it, but since you asked, I mean, man, I try to be as honest here as I can. We don't video it. We don't show it. We don't ever want them to be in a spot where maybe they feel bad because they couldn't afford it. It's just, man, we try to verify that it's legit. If we get a call from a family member or somebody saying, hey, look, we got problems, we don't know what to do, and man, we can't afford it, we call the city and say, hey, can you tell us, is this legit? And if the city's like, look, yeah, straight up, this is legit, we want to help. And man, that's just me. That's Julie. That's us. That's the nature of us. So we don't do that. Man, I know y'all see me looking. I am trying to pick out the windows because it sounds like it just came a turd floater. I'm a plumber, so that's a technical term. Okay, Troy, there you go. Let me roll back up here because I want to read this. Southern Mama Drama. I'm her husband. Jeff is her video editor. Okay, now you say her. Who's her? Because I apparently missed something. Is Sean Cannell your media coach? Okay, Southern Mama Drama. Who you talking to? Your whose husband? Oh, okay. Never mind. Here we go. We've done this before. I remember. Okay, so you're Jeff. You're Southern Mama Drama's husband. Okay, got it. Okay, so it says is her video editor. So does that mean you're her video editor and you're learning? Just checking. Pop Vultures. You'd be happy with the keychain. Giveaways are awesome, but knowledge is truly why I'm here. Man, and I love that, and I do. And Pop, that's a great way to put it. I love the fact that you come for knowledge. because that's why most people come to my channel. I've got a deal called Social Blade that I go in and check analytics and numbers and, where am I at? Where am I going to be? Because it's hard to go out and talk to future sponsors and just tell them, hey, Paul, if I can call you when I leave, do me a favor and leave me a note. Yes, and I'll give you a call when I get out. I know it's later where you're at by an hour, but good question. Anyway, here's the deal. Daggum. Where's I headed? I was headed. Oh, the giveaways. I love that you're here for the deal. I check into Social Blade to check my analytics. Where am I at and where am I going? And the neat thing was, and I had talked to Daryl Eves about this at one point. I said, hey, look, they don't have my channel classified. Meaning, is it entertainment? Is it education? Is it this or is it that? And I went in there just about a month or two ago, and they have classified me as an education channel. And I love that because that's what I want to do. I want to teach people about the trades, how to get into the trades, what to do in the trades, how to be the best tradesperson they can be. And man, to me, man, that was huge. I really did like that. Okay, so I like that. Thank you very much. So you're her video editor and you're starting your apprenticeship next Monday. That's fantastic. So tell me this, Jeff, what is her channel all about? Tell these guys. Construction Cronies, the best thing you learn from my giveaway, a huge one, is that the next one you're having, your community nominate people for the prize, and then a random pick from that list. Man, I like that. That's pretty cool. Y'all need to make sure y'all go over and subscribe to Construction Cronies and Paul Peck Drywall Tube. Man, got great people in here tonight. I love this. Construction Cronies is the best thing, okay? And that way you can really help someone who needs it. I like that a lot. Jason G., how are you? Good to see you in here. Troy Ketchen, absolutely. Thank you, Construction Cronies. Jason Smith, hey, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Man, I like that. Thank you, sir. Yeah, hey guys, I get it. I appreciate that. For a good camera, 10K. And Troy, you're right. And here's the deal. I know a brand, and it's not one of the big names. It's not the biggest name or anything like that. But man, they make a great product. And they've recently been bought out. And I've been talking to them because of where they're located and what they want to do and how they want to do it. And I'm telling you, I think that that's one that can happen. And I love their product. And you can ask Paul about me because Paul knows me. I'm not just going to come in here and say, hey, this is the iPhone 1. It's made by a company that, man, it's not Apple, it's orange. And, man, it's just as good. It's great and yada, yada, yada. Man, I ain't going to tell you that unless I think 100% that's true. My thing is when I come across a product or even a service that I think is phenomenal, I want to tell everybody about it. I want to help them. I want them to learn. And I've been working a deal. Part of my sponsorship wall will be product I can give away to y'all because I want to help y'all. And man, I know what it's like to start out. I don't even know how long it took me to save up enough money to buy a camera. But man, when I had my own company starting out, it wasn't a quick thing. And if I can give away a sewer camera, if I can give away some leak detection equipment, if I can give away a hydrojetter, if I can give away things like that and it helps people, guys, to me, I love that because I want to help, and that's a cool way to do it. So, next one, Rigid Sea Snake's a good one. And Jason, I don't disagree. Man, Rigid makes good products. I love Rigid. I love being a plumber because I can say we use Rigid tools. I love it. But there's other good products out there. And that's what I'm always about is, look, Yeti's great, but if I can get, I don't remember the Walmart version, and it's just as good, man, I have no problem with that. If it lasts just as long, I have no problem with that. But what I don't want to do is go by the the Goodwill brand of it and say, hey guys, this is just as good, but when you get it at home the bottom falls off. When you pull the lid off, it never goes back on. I don't want to give anybody the idea that something is great unless I've tried it, unless I use it, and unless I really think it is. So, and that's just me, but I look at things a little bit different. To me, it's not worth just the money, because if I get in here and tell you how good something is, and you go spend your hard-earned money, and man, it ain't that good, and you're mad at me, I don't want that. I don't want that headache at all. Pop, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Paul Peck, that's what you did your live stream giveaway yesterday. Asked channel trivia questions and previous live stream questions. And I love it. And that's what Daryl did. I won 2 prizes in Daryl Eve's live one time. And one of them was for knowing who the very first sponsor of Vid Summit was. And the other one was for knowing what the very first video editing software was that is now Adobe. What was it back before then? And I want you to know, I am sitting at a Mexican restaurant in San Antonio, Texas, getting ready. I don't know if I'd done a TV show that morning or getting ready to do one the next day, but I'm down there and eating lunch in a Mexican restaurant. I've got my phone, I've got my iPad. I am trying to get on both of them and eating lunch. And man, what a great day. Hicks Plumbing Services. You want to be the best company you can. And man, to me, that's what it's all about. If you're not trying to be the very best, man, there's something wrong. And that's why I always talk to people about, look, study your trade, study your industry, study the new tools, tips, technology, anything at all that you can to help you get better. That's what it takes to be the very best. And man, you can't rest on it. I've got a screensaver, and I've got my computer here, and I keep looking down here so I can see the notes, the comments. But I've got a screensaver on my computer, and it's Mark Cuban's face, and the quote next to it says, work like someone's working 24 hours a day to take it all away from you. And guys, I believe that. There are people out there that want what I have. Now, if they really had it, they might say, oh my God, this is a headache. And matter of fact, if they don't say that, they're either drinking or doing drugs. But it's still a lot of fun. And I love the daily grind. I love the hustle. I love, man, to get in here and hump it and learn it and know what we're doing and try to be the very best. And to me, that's what makes it all worthwhile. So, man, I keep it up. Southern Mama Drama. The reason I found you is because you heard Sean Cannell talking about a plumber knocking it out of the park. And man, I got to tell you, yes, Sean Cannell uses me in his presentation. And I've got to tell you, I have never been so excited as I was literally sitting in my couch with my wife. We're watching TV one day, and I got a text message from Sean. And I met Sean at Vid Summit. I've met Sean in many places. I actually was in Sean's session at the very first social media marketing world I ever went to. And man, just loved his attitude, loved his energy. I thought this guy's really, really good. So what I did was, along the way, man, I've always watched, I've always paid attention. When I spoke at Video Marketing World, which is here in Dallas, when I spoke at it last year, I sat next to Sean, and right across from him was Roberto Blake. And it was great because they were talking to the people on the other side of them, and I just kind of sat there and ordered and was eating and listening in and nodding and all that. And then it was like at the same time, Roberto and Sean just turned to me, and they're like, hey, man, what all are you doing? And we started talking. And it was really neat to communicate with these guys because I tell you what, they love what they do and they're good at it. And they are servant leaders. They want to help other people. They teach other people how to do what they do. And the conversation that night was wonderful. I mean, thoroughly enjoyed it. But here's what was really cool about it is, we're in Dallas, so I had my vehicle. So I drove back over to the hotel and pulled up and parked, and the shuttle pulls up to bring everybody back from the restaurant. And Sean Connell walks up to my window and he says, oh my God, I love your Jeep. I said, man, come get in. And he comes over and he climbs in. And I mean, I've got a big jacked up 4x4, yada, yada, yada. But he jumps in. I'm talking to Will on the phone. And I'm like, Will, guess who's in the Jeep? And I said, here's Sean Cannell. And they started talking. And Will's like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And man, that's what's neat about this industry. And guys, I come back to that and I keep telling y'all that. There's so many people in this industry that want to help other people. And that's what it's about. If you really have that servant heart and you want to help other people, man, social media is amazing because there's so many people that have questions and want to learn and want to grow and want to do different things. But talking to them at that dinner that night was amazing. And then Sean coming over and visiting, jumping up in the Jeep. We went in, visited that night. He interviewed me the next day. So I've been in one of his Think Media interviews, or video influencers. And I tell people all the time, look, I've read his book 3 times. I've listened to it twice. And every time I go through that book, I pick up something new. So again, don't want to tell y'all everything going on in my world, but yes, Southern Mama Drama, Jeff, I am in his video presentation. I've had people text me a screenshot and say, look, I'm in Sean Cannell's class and you're in it. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I had somebody text me today. They were doing something, a real estate training here in Dallas. Took a picture of me, or took a picture of the screen, and I'm going to try to remember where it is just because I want to see if I can pull it up. And I won't be able to because I don't remember where she sent it to me at. But literally, the crazy thing is, sent me a message just today. And here, let me see. Why can't I see the picture? Okay, I can't see it on here. Anyway, she had it in there earlier, and I was hoping that I could see it. So there we go. So let me go to this camera, and let me see. Is it going to focus or not? Nope. Oh, man. And I really thought that one would do it. Hold on, let's try it like this. Man, Will, my autofocus ain't working like it's supposed to. So anyway, guys, the cool thing was she's in a class, and it says important information realtors need. And I don't know how good y'all can see that. Let me try it one more time, just maybe. See if I can get it to focus on it right here. Man, it won't do it. Oh, I'm brokenhearted. This is what we did this whole thing for. It's not even getting my hand. Oh, you know what? Will came and switched something a while ago. Okay. So anyway, she's a real estate agent here in class, going through training. And they pull up my YouTube channel. And it is, I mean, and like I said, look, I know you can't see it right up here, but across the top of the screen, it says important information realtors need. So what are you doing in your industry? What are you doing to get out in front of other people? What are you doing to grow your brand, your name, what it is you're doing? Because social media works. And putting yourself out there, being okay with people laughing at you. You know, I watched Roberto Blake yesterday, and man, he had trolls in there, and thank God I hadn't got any. And that's a joke. I get people troll me all the time. They don't like what I'm doing. Roger, you're a dinosaur plumber. You need to learn that duct tape and bubble gum works as good as soldering. Things like that. Anyway, I love what we do. So yes, Jeff, I'm in his training, and man, getting interviewed by him and talking to him, it's a great thing to do. Cruz, welcome, brother. How are you? Roger's the future of plumbing. Man, if I'm the future of plumbing, it's a horrible future we got ahead of us, man. And I'm joking. I do love what I do. Let me see. Man, where did I go? It jumped on me really, really far. There we go. Cruz, thank you so much. Paul Peck says, thank you, Chris. And you know what, Paul, your lives are great. I'm really disappointed I didn't get the notification yesterday, but I didn't even get the notification of D yesterday. So I don't know what's going on. But I'll tell you what, y'all, If you have not seen Paul Peck's lives, you need to. If you hadn't subscribed to his channel, do. Construction Cronies is still in here. If you hadn't subscribed to theirs, do. These people are putting out great content, and they're a lot like me. They want what's best for you. It's not to sell you product. It's not to sell you a service. But, I mean, guys, look, I've got links, about things we do sell. And when I say sell, look, you want to know what kind of camera I used? There it is. There's a link in here for it. If you go buy it, I get a couple of bucks. Woo woo. That's what they call affiliate links. So I love it. Most plumbers and even sprinkler fitters use rigid on your sites. And man, look, rigid tools are great. I love them. I've been using them for years. I've made a lot of money off of them too, meaning they've helped me install projects and I've made tons of money. Love my YouTube channel, Hicks Plumbing Services. Thank you very much. Amos Cardoza. Hello, Roger. Paul Peck sent me over and glad to be here. Was looking for a good plumber for a while. Well, Amos, Paul Peck is in the house. Good to have you here. Thank you very much. Man, glad you're here. So when you say you're looking for a good plumber, are you wanting to learn plumbing, or do you already do plumbing, or you're just bored and you want to talk about poop on Monday afternoons live? Because we do that. Talking poop with a plumber. Benny, Roger, you should do some more tool reviews. Man, I'm working on it. Benny, there's a lot of things we're working on. Man, here's what we do. And a lot of YouTubers do it different, but we want to find out what people are looking for. What are they searching for? So just like you just did, man, if you ever think, hey, you know what? I want to see a video about this and you can't find a good one, man, give me a shout. Reach out to me and say, hey, Raj, look, just like that, tool review. But, tell me, what kind of tools do you want reviewed? Sewer machines, hydrojetters, cameras, you name it, man, I'll reach out to people and say, hey, man, I need one of these. What can we do to get one in here to do this and to do that? And, man, don't get me wrong, I can't go buy, $50,000 hydrojetters to compare one to the other. But, man, if I can get them in here, I'm willing to try. I love it. James Cunningham, sort of like the difference between rigid Pro Press gun and the different Milwaukee Pro Press guns. Your preference is the Milwaukee because of the ergonomic difference. And you know what? I love the fact that I've got some tools in here by Milwaukee I need to do reviews on. I've got videos that I need to do for so many different things. Man, as soon as my sponsor wall fills up and I can get more plumbers in here to handle the plumbing end of it, I can be more of the video end of it. And I love that part. Looking forward to it. Ringo Hayes, should the price of rotting sewers go up 10 times the amount for hazard pay if coronavirus cases increase locally? And you know what, Ringo, it's funny you say that, but man, it's that there's health issues, there's dangers, there's things to look at. I don't have any problem with it. It's always smart to look ahead and say, hey, look, if we're going to have to wear full face masks, if we're going to have to wear Tyvek suits, if we're going to have to do things like that, that cost has got to be absorbed by somebody, and it shouldn't always be the company owner. So, great way to look at it. Love the Milwaukee Pro Press a whole lot more. They say the same too. James Cunningham, Rigid makes a small version of the one you have. Milwaukee makes a short throw for Peck's fittings and the long throw gun for copper and Mega Press. Pop Vultures. Did you ever regret getting into this trade? Did you consider HVAC or electric? Well, to be honest, I am also an HVAC technician. I took the exam for electrical, but I was way too smart. And don't tell any electricians I said that. They get their feelings hurt really, really easy. Guys, look, some of my best friends are electricians. I just preferred to never get my butt shocked. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. I don't mind getting wet. Doesn't bother me a bit. HVAC technician, I really one day thought my plumbing company would do plumbing and HVAC. Maybe not now. Just because we've got so much going on in social media, I don't see me trying to grow the company a lot bigger than it is right now. Don't get me wrong, I love it. And I want to grow, but I want to do it certain ways. Steve Winnington. Hey, Roger, you take your tradesman test tomorrow. What are some things to be aware of or to expect? Sorry about that, guys. Uh, Steve, I tell you what, it's been so long since I've taken a test in Austin. I'm trying to remember my last master exam was either WPS or multipurpose. And I think those were about 10 years ago, maybe even longer. Anybody in here recently taken the tradesman exam? Do me a favor, drop a line in there. Let Steven know. My thing is, have you studied, and what have you studied? I'm interested in that. Are you in the union? Are you open shop? What kind of information do you have to study by, and what have you been looking at? And I'm just curious. Okay, drop it in. Let me know. Construction Cronies, you love Sean's book. You read it all. I tell you what, it's funny that you say that. Read it all over a 4 hour flight. I go down to Houston a lot. My wife and I, we go down there. We're started with Master Networks down there, trying to help other businesses grow their business. And going down there, I've listened to it on audio. I've read it, like I said, 3 times. I've read it over a weekend at home. I've read it over a weekend here at the office. I think I was in a hotel, and it may have been at Vid Summit that I read it. I've listened to it twice, going back and forth to San Antonio once for a TV show and Houston once. And guys, I'm telling you, every time I read it, I get something new. Sean Cannell and Benji actually jumped in here one night, and it was really, really cool. So I'm telling you, I love what they do. They give it to you straight up front and say, look, here's what it is. And every time I go through it, I either pick up something new that they're saying, or I go through it and it's like, why aren't I doing that yet? And these guys have got great information. And if you ever thought about doing YouTube, read that book before you start. I need to talk to Sean. I need to get an affiliate link because, man, this is something I love sharing. And I've actually given that book away to people. I think I've bought 3 or 4 copies because I'll have a copy and I'll be out somewhere and talking to a kid. And, the kid's like, oh my gosh, I want that book. And I'm like, you know what, here, just take mine. And I don't highlight them. I don't mark them up. I take a lot of mental notes on the audio, especially. I'll literally be driving on the road and I'm writing notes. Not while I'm driving. I pull over every time I want to write down a note. Back up to Steve. Steve, leave me a note down there and tell me what you're doing, what you're studying, where you at. Southern Mama Drama. Jeff, thank you for sharing your knowledge and being a mentor to us all. Do you have a video of how you organize your vans and how you keep track of the inventory of the products in the vans? I'm working on that. And I've got to tell y'all, number one, I've got to get new vans. I started my company 5 years ago. I bought all used equipment for my vans. And it's time that if I'm going to grow the plumbing company, it's time for me to get new vans. And when I say new vans, man, I want like the Hackney. I want something really cool. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We've got so many opportunities coming up, not just with sponsors, but people wanting to partner up, people wanting to do different things. I've had some people offer to buy me out. The number's not quite there yet, but it's starting to get close. And man, there's just so many good things going on that we get really, really excited about it, if you can't tell. All right. So, man, the product in the vans and how we do that, I'm working on that one because I've got some cool things that I think that we do. Amos Cardozo, how are you doing? I love it. Southern Mama, Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. Amos, Roger, want to learn as much as you can. You're a DIY kind of guy. I love that. So an expert help I can get, I truly appreciate. Really looking forward to your channel. Man, I am glad you're here. Here's the deal, guys. I love the fact that I get to show people things they may not see. It was really neat. You know, I showed y'all a while ago right here. One of the ladies here, the one who took the picture, is in a real estate class here in Dallas. And they've got me up on the screen. Important information realtors need. And man, I wish that I could get it where y'all could see it, because, man, that to me is what it's all about. If I can give you information that you need, if I can help real estate agents here learn what they need to know about real estate to help their clients. And man, it's just, to me, that is huge. And that probably gets me as excited as anything, because I'm getting to help people. And man, ask Paul, I love helping people. And anything I can do to help any of y'all, man, I'm all over it. I love it. James Cunningham, how was K-Biz? Brother, I tell you what, if you hadn't seen my video yet, you need to. I took some of the coolest video while I was there. I've had the National Kitchen and Bath Association reach out. Said, man, look, we love your video. We're sharing it with our people. I've had connections. I did a podcast today. It was Eric and Garoza. And man, I knew I'd get his name wrong. I probably shouldn't even said that. And man, I knew who he was before I went there. Eric Garanson was on his podcast today. And it's all because I went to his presentation at K-Biz at the International Builders Show, back on the main stage. And it was really great. He put on a great presentation about building green and what we can do to protect our customers and to protect ourselves by doing the right tests and the right things. And guys, I love it. If you hadn't seen my video, man, go check it out. We're really having fun with what we get to do. Okay, Andres Macias. Okay, hold on. Wait, did I skip one? Maybe I did. I believe I did. Yep. Joe, what's good, Roger? What's good, Roger? What's your favorite drain cleaning snake for lavatory sinks and tub and showers? K45 and a K50 with a drum attachment, and both can be inconvenient. I tell you the one that I want to try, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I want the little Milwaukee that straps on your back, the little Milwaukee you hook a cordless drill up to and use that as your motor. Man, there's a lot of new things coming out, and I want to get to play with them. I've actually got a meeting in the morning with a company, which, man, I might have to get off here pretty quick. I've got a meeting in the morning with a company. Guys, there's a product, and I want to ask y'all what you think about this. There's a product coming out. It's a leak detection equipment, and there's a device. Okay, and I'm gonna say this is the device, and you put this device in your meter box, and there's a wire that goes down and just secures to your meter, and there's an option of a piece that'll attach on your water line coming out of your meter that actually has a valve on it. Now, what this does is it tells you if you've got a leak at your house, and it's remote leak detection, meaning I can put that on my house in Saxe, and if I'm eating lunch in Dallas, I can get a notification that goes off that says you have a leak at your house. Now, I can do one of two things. It's going to tell me there's a leak because it's going to say your meter has not stopped spinning in this amount of time, and that's a time limit you can set. But the cool thing about it is, if I've also installed the valve, and I know if my meter hadn't stopped spinning, I've got a leak, I can hit a button and turn the water off to my house. I think that's pretty cool. It'll also tell me how much water use I'm getting every day. How long is it running? When am I using water every day? Why am I using water every day? It's a smart device that can actually learn the water habits. And man, I'm excited about it. So what would y'all think about something like that? Because that's something I've got a meeting with them in the morning to talk to them about. I think it's great. Joe, back to yours. I want the Milwaukee that you hook the cordless drill up to. I use, I've got a speed rooter I use. I've got, oh my gosh. I mean, just, man, Spartans. My big machines are a Spartan, and I'm telling you what, I think I could take down a house with one. I love the big Spartan sewer machines, but I've also got a small one that I carry up on the roof. I've got a lot of different machines, and man, I find things that I like about every one of them. Rigid's good. General's good. Spartan, I think, is amazing. I'm really wanting to try the Milwaukee's. I think that Milwaukee's building things to help make our jobs easier, and I like that a lot. I think that part's huge. Hicks Plumbing, you love plumbing, you will not change. I completely get it. Saying hello to construction cronies. Andres Macias, how can a young man get his apprentice card? You started plumbing when you were 22 and never considered getting one. Hope that question is okay. Absolutely. If you're in Texas and you don't have an apprentice card, you need to get it because that's how they're going to track your hours to find out when can you take your plumbing exam. So that really is a big deal. Contact the Texas State Board. Let them know who you work for. Give them your Social Security, driver's license, whatever it is they need. That's what it's going to take, but I'm telling you, it's huge. If you're not in Texas, Andres, where are you at? Paul Peck, hello. Hector Sanchez, hello. How are you, sir? Barney Films 85. Man, I'm glad you jumped in here because, man, I'm getting ready to shut this puppy down. Good to see you. Would big giveaways like a sewer camera be for anyone or just for plumbers who could use and appreciate such a tool? It would be for plumbers. And I say plumbers, it could be a plumber or an apprentice. Here's the deal. and I'm kind of like you. I don't want to give it to, Rebecca Long because Rebecca jumps in and watches my videos because she thinks I'm sexy and have a great voice. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. I would really want it to be hopefully for a plumber or somebody in the plumbing trade. They don't have to be a plumber, but if it's somebody that can learn something, learn how to use it, get to use it, learn how to make money with it. Man, to me, that's what it's all about. How can I help people? Andres Macias, you have only ever studied the recent plumber's handbook. That's good. That's the one that the code's going to be out of. Cost you $130. I hope you use my affiliate link to get it. Then I'll make like $130 or something. PG, where do you get your shirts? Are they screen printed or embroidered? And that is the finest embroidery that Richardson, Texas has to offer. They do them for me over at Logotology. And I was talking about this early, PG. I've got to figure out how to get my merch done. I really want Logotology here to do it, but man, I know they're not set up to YouTube. I got to figure this out because I've got to start merchant. How many of y'all would buy a shirt other than Paul? Paul's just going to throw darts at it and paint and speckle it, and that's not what I want. So how many people other than Paul would buy shirts? Let's put it that way. Paul Peck, you're a great man, brother. Okay, we're getting ready to roll this puppy up. Man, and the questions just keep on coming. James Cunningham, correction, KABS, the Kitchen and Bath Show. It's actually KBIS, Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, KBIS. And the other side of it's the IBS, the International Builder Show. Pop, Roger, your son is also watching the stream and wants to ask you who your favorite plumber. Oh, man, I'm a Mario man. I'm a Mario guy. Man, because he's straight up legit. Got the cool stash, the muscles, the hat, and Mario was red, right? I know I'm wearing blue, but red's like my signature color. Stephen Whittington, you got your book and test from Bobby's class here in Haltom City. Good for you. Feel confident in your book work in the house, but not so much on the rest of your shop work. You can solder, but not supremely familiar with the B tank. Man, look, here's the deal. Normally your B tank, your regulators, whether it's a turbo torch or press light, open it up all the way. You'll be fine. You can turn your press light down a little bit if you need to, not your B tank. And man, just relax. Those people down there, they want to help you. They want you to pass. They know we need plumbers. Matter of fact, they know we need plumbers bad. I've talked to them. Man, I try to do a lot with the board now. And it's funny because one of the things on Eric's channel earlier is, look, this is non-politics. And it's like, whoa. Man, here in Texas, we're talking politics and we're fighting politicians. So some of us try to help them, but sometimes it's just kind of hard to see it that way. Love the Hackney body. You have 3 of them. See, man, that's fantastic. I really do. I like that. I think that's a cool work truck. What's the worst, craziest service call you've ever been on or done? One of my speeches starts off, I remember the first time I was waist deep in a hole filled with raw sewage. I didn't think it could get any worse than this. And, that's a legit story. When I was an apprentice, we were actually working on a break, and we were trying to tie in a T to a sanitary system where we could tie in a building drain. And man, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden this hole is filling up with sewage. I'm down here trying to squeeze a CT in this, and I mean, this thing just starts filling up, and man, I'm still trying to get it all together. And man, that was it. So it's not a good one, but thank God that stuff washes off. Construction cronies definitely think we're going to see more sensor technology, man, and we are. Uh, yeah, and a lot of it in a lot of different industries and divisions. So yes, I tell you what, Paul, I can't wait to. I should get one of those here in the next few days. So hopefully in a week or so, I can demonstrate it. And yeah, James, it's a lot like the Mow and Flow, but the Mow and Flow works on Wi-Fi. And I talked to Moen at KBiz, and I've got the guy's card in there on my desk. The Mow and Flow we can't use because we've either got to have the water where it comes into the house, which means we've got to know right where the main water line comes in. We have to install this. It has to have Wi-Fi capability. There's a lot of things that's required of that. The one that I'm talking about, the Meter Dog, actually, it can install on your meter. It has a cellular connection. The app is amazing. There's a lot of good things about it, and that's why I'm really excited about talking to them tomorrow. And yeah, I talked to the guy about it, about the Flow, and it's nowhere close to what this one is. Andres Messias, Texas, good for you, brother. Hicks Plumbing loves rigid snakes. I get it. Milwaukee also has the new XM line coming out, including a generator. From your understanding, it's similar to the DeWalt. Love that. There you go. Southern Mama Drama buy a shirt. Bruce Wood, Construction Cronies Wood, David Harris. See, man, I got to get my stuff going. Paul wants it to throw darts at. I know what he wants. Barney Films 85. You might buy a shirt, but you might not have the extra length. You need Duluth Trading Company long tail, 6'6", brother. Man. Construction Cronies, Roger, YouTube channel called Nerd City covered merch very well. Would recommend watching that. Skillshare has courses on merch that are great. I love it. Paul Peck, brother, I would owe you a shirt. Hicks Plumbing, grease traps. Oh man, yeah. I'll tell you what, and that's a neat story. I had a little old man one time. We were out looking at a grease trap, needed to rebuild, and man, we had the lids open, and I'm down there looking at it. He walks right up and he drops the lighter, and it stops like right in the top. I mean, it was that thick. It was that nasty. And he looked at me and said, "Can you get that out of there for me?" I said, "Man, I think you lost that one." He says, "No, I can't." He said, "My late wife gave me that." And I'm like, man, and number one, you could not stand the smell. You couldn't reach it. It was just out of arm's reach. So I had my tape on me, and I want you to know I laid my tape right on the side of the lid, and I slid it down in there, and I literally just kind of hit the lighter with it, and I had my tape upside down because I was going at an angle. So hit the lighter with it, and that lighter turned and set right on the lip of that tape, and I slid that tape up and reached down there and grabbed it and handed it to him, and I promise you I could never do that again if I had to. But that was a pretty cool trick, and it worked. Alec Carpenter, Roger, is the only way to become a plumber is to go through an apprenticeship, or can you go through a 2-year trade school? Alec, number one, where are you located? Look who jumped in here. The Urban Explorer is in the house. So, Alec, here's the deal. Depending on where you're at, they've got trade schools here in Texas, but you still got to put in the hours. You don't have to go through an apprentice training program or anything like that. To be honest, here in Texas, you can go to work for an open shop company, stay there 4 years, get your journeyman license. 4 years later, you can get your master's. Now, if you go through the apprentice training program, After 4 years, you can get your journeyman. And when I say the apprentice training program, if you go through a Department of Labor approved program, so you can go through the union program, which is 5 years. At the end of 4 years, get your journeyman. At the end of the next year, you can take your master's exam. Guys, it's all about the training. Paul Peck, Drywall Tube, still trying to get Dan Norton's gray hat. Hey, Dan came here to Dallas and saw me at Video Marketing World. Urban Explorer, hey, been up the wall with voiceover. Man, I'm glad you're doing that, brother. You are good. I'm glad that I'm going late, so I caught you here. An Urban Explorer is another one. Guys, if you don't know Neil, he's doing great stuff. Check out his channel. Neil, are you going live tonight? If so, drop a link in there to your live if you've already got it scheduled. I'm getting ready to get out of here in about 3 minutes. And Neil normally goes live in about an hour and 3 minutes. So if so, check him out. You know, the other one that I hadn't seen in here tonight is Juliet Miranda. She's got a great bourbon soaked live or bourbon soaked rant or something like that. Pretty cool show, worth watching, definitely. And she goes live on YouTube also around 7. And Neil, you're a little earlier than that, aren't you? I'm trying to remember because I try to bounce back and forth. Jason Smith, thanks for your YouTube lives. Really enjoy them. Hey, buddy. Hello, Neil. Good to see you here. I know, 114 minutes. I got to get out of here. Great to have everybody in here tonight. Guys, you know, thanks to Neil for jumping in. Thanks to Paul Peck for being here as always. Thanks to the Construction Cronies for coming in. Will Rosebrock, Julie Wakefield. Man, we've had some great conversations tonight. I really do appreciate it. If this is y'all's first time here, do me a favor, come back. If you liked what you saw here, share it, let people know about it. We try to do this every Monday at 4 o'clock, unless I'm out of town and things are going on. Got Amos Cardoza still in here. Thank you, sir. Alec Carpenter's up in Iowa. Good to see you. Charles Johnson, what's the price range for tools for someone starting out? I think the Union tool bag has about a $650 value on it. Not saying you got to buy all that. And earlier we talked about the benefits of going to a pawn shop and buying used tools, but buying good ones so you know that they work. Pop Vultures, good night, everyone. Got to go. Great stream. Roger, thank you. No, sir. Thank you. Guys, look, we do this all the time. Every Monday, we try to go live from 4 to 6, 4 to 5:30, somewhere around in there. Charles, thank you. Guys, I love doing this. I love talking plumbing. If you know anybody that could benefit from this, do me a favor. Share the link with them. Let them know. Tell them about it. Man, take a picture of you watching it. Share it on your social media. If you do, tag me, connect with me, anything at all like that. Thoroughly enjoy what we're doing. If you know anybody who wants to get in the trades or into construction, man, have them reach out, talk to me. I'll do everything that I can to help them. So, like Jason G said, till next week. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you on the next video if you don't get flushed.